Hello, ladies and gentlemen, fans. Welcome to another fan-approved, keep you on the move, feel-good groove episode 49 to be exact. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a power-packed podcast known for you, ladies and gentlemen, known as the Yin and the Yang. And of course, I am your host, with the most, your residential lifelong martial artist, Anthony Chu, a.k.a. Chuzilla, the ultimate thriller, all muscle, no filler, baby. And ladies and gentlemen, today we celebrate 1 year of the Yin and the Yang. That's right, fans. You have celebrated with us, and you have followed us, and you've heard my big mouth and Larry's big mouth for an entire 365 days. Congratulations to you all. We are going to break a huge record-breaking I know, it's record-breaking. Yes, it sounds repetitive. But we're going to do something good for the people that will help our fellow Americans in need. A dream match in the works for WrestleMania. And, Reclaiming You, Q&A, and a whole lot more. And ladies and gentlemen, oh yes, and by the way, the world's least anticipated boxing rematch may happen soon. Good grief. And we got a whole lot to do. So, ladies and gentlemen, to join me to do the world some good, allow me to introduce my co-host right now. Let's see here. Do we want to cue up some music for him? No, we do not. He gets the silent treatment this week. Why? Because, well, Jeremiah is out with a cold right now. He ain't feeling all that great. He's barely on the controls. So hey, fool, play his music. What? He doesn't want to play his music. All right, listen, ladies and gentlemen, he is the generous given, single living, podcast driven, owner, king, guru of the More of the Same network. Ladies and gentlemen, Larry, I still believe Bert and Ernie are best friends, not gay, Mormon.
They're puppets, for God's sakes. They're puppets. They have no sexuality.
Listen, did you actually hear that apparently the creator of Bert and Ernie said that they were meant to be a gay couple?
Please. From the 60s and 70s, I doubt it. And then also you hear this other thing where, Pampers is taking like the Sesame Street characters off the diapers because there's no female Muppets on there.
Or like making Cookie Monster the carrot monster now.
Oh, they did
or something.
that years ago. Yeah, Veggie Monster.
But it's so stupid. I mean, like, come on. The man is known for eating cookies, not
cookies.
Carrots.
And he
it's like
he ate a Volkswagen Beetle and Follow That Bird.
Did he really?
Yeah, remember? I forgot. I think he was with Gordon and who's the Spanish lady? Linda?
Maria.
Maria, yes. I think it was Maria, Gordon, and Cookie Monster in a yellow Volkswagen Beetle, trying to find Big Bird. And by the time they found him, Cookie Monster was pretty much done eating the entire, the entire car. Great movie. I won't lie.
Wow, I did not know that.
I will man up. I still tear up a little bit every time I watch that, and Big Bird's in the cage, and he's blue. Singing that sad song.
Yeah.
That gets me.
That's true.
That gets me every time.
It does get to you.
Listen, blue.
Folks, there
He's
are some
sad.
things in life. There are some things in life that if you don't react to, you really aren't human. Seriously.
That, and I well up a little bit every time I watch Transformers the movie when, Optimus Prime turns gray. Because he's dead. And I'll be...
Yeah.
Even though, unfortunately, that led to Rodimus Prime. Stupid.
Aren't they remaking the...
No,
aren't they remaking...
They're not remaking that movie. They better never remake that movie. It is being re-released in theaters for one night only. The original cartoon movie, Transformers.
Oh, well, that's good.
And I got my ticket.
Yeah, well, listen, we just might have given Hollywood a brand new deal. Or new lease on life, just to remake everything else. They're remaking everything. I mean, hey, listen, what are they going to do? Remake Showgirl soon? Well, actually, I would like to see that personally.
Please,
anyway,
the first one was terrible.
So
what do we got?
Larry, happy 1 year anniversary, my man.
Happy anniversary, sir. I didn't think it was going to last. It was touch and go there for a little while. But like the phoenix rising out of the ashes, the Yin and the Yang podcast just refuses to stay down for the 3 count.
I can't believe that a year just went like so quickly.
It goes quick,
you know what
doesn't
I mean?
it? It's ridiculous.
We did our first episode on Jim Cornette's birthday, and by the way, this past weekend I did get corny in Philly.
You did get horny in Philly.
I ate
all right.
Not horny, corny.
Oh,
horny.
I'm sorry. Okay.
I was horny kind of in Philly too.
All right.
That's a different story. The point being is that I went to Pennsylvania, went to Philadelphia, right? Met Mr. Cornette.
West Philadelphia?
Gave him these magazines. Born and raised.
In the playgrounds where I spent
on the playground
days.
Chilling out, maxing, relaxing, cool,
and shooting some people outside of the school. When a couple of guys, they were up to no good. Started making trouble in my neighborhood.
Too white. Anyway, so what had happened was... So what had happened was, but you're
coming from the whitest Asian I know.
White guy. No, hey, you are, because they're so white and nerdy. Because that was a hell of a remake.
That was That was a good version.
That was pretty funny. I bet you Millionaire even laughed at that. He had to.
Wait, who?
Anyway, the guy who did the original song. Millionaire or something like that.
Was it?
Whatever the hell.
Oh, I thought it was someone else.
Was it him?
I
don't know.
That. No, it wasn't him.
No.
Riding Dirty?
Okay. Well, get Jeremiah if he's still. Hey man, he is not feeling right. I give this kid credit for coming into the studio today because he is not feeling well at all. Did you do something to him? Because you're still like a little sick too.
I am. I still, as much as I got over the pneumonia. Yeah. Now. Oh, excuse me. That's on air. Yeah, I got a cold now. All of a sudden, I can't win.
Wow. Okay.
I can't win.
Vitamin C, my friend. Vitamin C and some Sambucus.
I can't take vitamin C.
Okay. What about Sambucus?
I don't like
elderberry extract.
I don't like liquor.
Tastes like grape bullshit. It tastes like grape flavored. It tastes like a grape lollipop, actually.
Really?
Serious?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Sambucus is sweet, man.
Maybe I'll try it.
It's elderberry extract. It fights viruses.
Okay.
So basically, I went to Philly. I got to meet Mr. Cornette. Took a picture with him. Shook his hand. He goes, "I remember you," and I said, "Really?" I said, "You remember me?" And he said, "Yeah." I said, "Well,
don't step on my line." Really?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. And what had happened was, I said, "Do you remember where you saw me?" He goes, "Wasn't it in New Jersey somewhere?" And I said, "Yeah, Legends of the Ring." And he goes, "That's right." He goes, "Yeah, I met you. You were this really nice gentleman who came up to me and asked me very nicely for an autograph, and I gave it to you." And I said, and I told him, I told him about the Yin and the Yang podcast, and I told him about what was it, Knothead, doing the song about Jim Cornette.
Oh,
and
yes.
Played it. Right. So what had happened was he was laughing, and I said, "Mr. Cornette, honestly, you want to know the other reason why you could recognize me from a mile away?" He's like, "What's that?" I said, "How many Asian fans do you really, really have?" And then he goes, "Oh, shit, come to think of it, you're right." He starts laughing. I start laughing. So I gave him a birthday gift. I gave my inspiration a birthday gift.
Really?
You see, so I gave him 5 magazines that were actually originally owned by Inside Wrestling and Pro Wrestling Illustrated from the 1970s.
Wow.
It is like from like the mid to like late 70s. And he opens them up and goes, "What the hell is this?" So he's shaking it. He can't figure it out. He goes, "Is this some type of literature of some sort?" I said, "Well, why don't you open it, Mr. Cornette?" He opens it, and he goes, "Holy fucking shit." He goes, "I haven't seen these." And he goes, "I have a lot of them at home, but..." And he's like, he's just fucking saying, "There's a bunch of people behind us." And he's just standing there scanning through this shit. He goes, "Oh, my God." He's like, "I really, really appreciate it so much. It's a generous gift." I said, it was owned by a former 7th grade social studies teacher who actually managed Dr. Jerry Graham,
really?
The legendary, late and great Dr. Jerry Graham, for a week. And he actually came out and did the strut. I think it was like Wild Red Berry. And he managed him for a whole week because Jerry Graham's manager was out. So
that's
he was
crazy.
like, oh, he goes, I'm a collector and stuff. And he was like, thank you so much. He goes, is there anything I can do for you? I was going to ask him to video something like saying, hi, this is legendary, Jim Cornette. You're listening to the Yin and The Yang podcast.
For some scratch on that one.
I don't know. I gave him 5 really, really rare magazines that are in almost pristine condition.
Okay.
So, I didn't ask. I didn't want to bother him too much. And I said, I'll tell you what, Mr. Cornette. I said, if I ever come down to Louisville, hopefully I can find a way to email you, look you up, and we'll go out and take me to Mark's Feed Store. Oh, my God. Do you know what Mark's Feed Store is?
I'm going to assume some sort of restaurant.
Larry? No shit. Of course. It's a barbecue joint that is so good. It's considered one of the best in Louisville.
Wow.
So I want to go eat up, man.
Yeah, man. That sounds good.
I will starve myself to get there to eat barbecue. So I said, or take me to a Bojangles, goddammit. I mean, fucking Bojangles is, you ever have Bojangles?
No.
It makes Popeyes. I could be wrong. Southern fans, help me out here. It honestly, Bojangles makes Popeyes look like fucking chicken scratch. That's how good it is.
Real? Wow. Great. You got me with this really thing, and now I just feel weird every time I say it.
Boy, I say, you're right. Anyway, speaking of Southern fans, Larry, before we do that, did you have a good week?
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
I got corny and horny in Philly.
Oh, dear.
What happened to you?
Again, I was kind of laid up a little bit because of this stupid cold. Other than that, what did I do? Really not much. Just pre-ordered the PlayStation Classic, as I soon found out that it was going to be available by the end of the year.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a mini PlayStation 1, kind of like the NES Classic, put out by Sony, and it'll have 20 games on it. So they only announced 5 of them, though.
Hi, Reggie. Fuck you. I hope Sony does a better job and puts you out of business.
Well, it's $100, this thing, which is already a little annoying.
I'm okay with it.
And so far announced was Final Fantasy VII, Tekken 3.
Ooh, a martial art game.
Yep.
Finally, we get some Just Do around here.
Wild Arms, a couple other games. Ridge Racer 4.
Siphon Filter?
Well, they only announced 5 of the 20 games. Siphon Filter's
Siphon Filter was
Siphon Filter was awesome. I'm kind of shocked. I didn't know you played Siphon Filter.
Love it.
Yeah, I got that actually. I downloaded that on the PS3.
Larry, let me give you a little secret if you don't already know this about me, since you've known me for over 20-something years. I don't like violence. I don't condone it unless you have to defend your family, your loved ones or whatnot, or to help when necessary in this world. I like to keep peace and harmony, obviously.
You've invited Steven Seagal twice to the show, and twice he's beaten up interns.
Listen, the guy has a lot on his plate. He's a friend of mine. I like the man. I'm a little scared of the guy, but, listen. But, did I choreograph that day? It's how he feels. What do you want me to do? I'm not responsible. What am I, his guidance counselor?
Fair enough.
Now, what I was going to say before you rudely interrupted me was, Larry, I'm all about peace, harmony, and all that other stuff. But in the video game world or in the movie world, I want violence to its highest peak of no return. Because I don't condone people doing this shit, looking at this, and then going, ooh, let me try this in real life, you fucking morons.
So you're a fan of the Tekken series?
Oh, absolutely. The more violent it is, the better. Why do you think I love Mortal Kombat so much? Sub-Zero, my man.
Raiden all the way.
Sub-Zero.
Get over here.
Finish him.
Toasty.
Did you ever see this funny video of video games come to real life, where there was a drunken guy in Queens somewhere and he was staggering, and you see Scorpion just beating the shit out of him?
No. Well, I've seen videos like that. They've done that a lot, like with Super Mario Kart and stuff like that. But I haven't seen that one in particular.
I'll send the link to you. It's fucking hilarious. Anyway. Yes.
Yeah. So my week was what it was, but I'm ready. I've been waiting to do the show. I'm excited for doing the show. You know, there's really nothing that could happen that can deter me from keeping this show on the network. So let's just have a good time.
Well, I appreciate that, Larry. I mean, listen, for once, the fans, the commandos, and the militants, they get their just due. We finally get recognized as a valid, relevant show on your network. It only took a year or maybe some extra days. All right. But I mean, goddamn, our show has been longer than some WWE champions around here.
This is adequate. This is correct. So let's talk.
Do not bring up the Bob Backlund thing. Do not bring up the Bob Backlund. I will.
I wasn't going to say a word.
Anyway,
let
me calm down.
Champion Larry, from Wednesday to the following Tuesday. What can I say?
Fucking son. What did I just say? I just told you, do not bring up the Backlund thing.
No, I didn't say anything other than the fact that the entire match was shown because it was only 15 seconds.
I'm sorry. Let me just. I disrespected myself and Mr. Back. I'm sorry. Ow! I hit myself because his name is. Yeah, well, I've been training. Yeah. Mr. Bob Backlund.
And we're going to meet Mr. Bob Backlund.
Now, do I meet him in Legends of the Ring or do I meet him at Chiller?
Which is first? Legends is first, right?
Legends is first.
He's probably going to be the same price either way.
Bullet Club.
Yeah, I'm going to get back to you on that because tomorrow I am picking up my special edition Hot Topic pop vinyls of the Super Kick Party Young Bucks.
Nice. Very nice. Like I said, I don't have a problem with the Bucks. It's cool.
Nah, cool.
Anyway, so here's the thing, right? So as I was saying earlier, to our Southern fans out there, especially to you fans in the Carolinas, myself, Larry, and the boys in the back, we are very, very, we have friends. We have, I don't have any family in the South. I know you, in the Carolinas, I know you do.
Right? Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I mean, excuse me, I don't have any family there, but I do have friends there, like Yari's there, and I do have some friends there.
Give a shout out to Yari, the motivational beast.
Absolutely. Motivational beast. What's up, brother? To you and the wife and the young one. I'm glad you guys are safe, and all week we've been looking at this devastation about what is happening, the flood water rising up. It's getting worse. There are people with no food, no electricity. It's hard out there, So we had our production meeting this past week, and what we've decided to do is we have decided that we are going to do something good. And Larry, I commend you because you are actually going to do something good, for the people for once, for mankind. And Larry, we've come up to this conclusion. Fans, I want you to listen very carefully. So we've decided for episode 49, we're going to do a donation. And this is how it's going to work. For every time we see on Spreaker, YouTube, iHeartRadio, iTunes, especially iTunes, and Spreaker, which is our home base, anywhere where you get your podcast, that give us a figure to count how many people have downloaded and listened to this show. For every person that listens and downloads to the show, we will donate $1 per person.
For the next, until episode 50. So
right, exactly. So, we really want to help the people out there. And by the way, Larry has already stated to me in private, and I might as well just release this to the fans, Larry. So let's not kayfabe it. Larry said to me he is very confident that the commandos and the militants will step up. The more the same family will step up. We're going to raise some money for these people. I don't care if we raise $10, $20, $100. Actually, we do care. Because you had said to me that if we can get $100, right? $100 worth of listens, you are going to donate a nice large sum of money to hurricane relief.
Wait. A large sum?
You see that? Fans, he is so speechless. He does not know what to say.
You know,
Larry, I commend the living hell out of you, brother. You are an inspiration to the people.
You can't just blurt things out on the air.
To the fans. What do you mean? You said that during the month. Jeremiah, did he not just say that? Did he not say that over the... Did he not? What? Hold on. Nope. Let me see if he... What? Jeremiah.
What is happening?
He not say that during the production meeting, if we get over 100 listens, he is going to write a big check for the people to help. Right. See? He said it. He said it. I'm telling you now, he's not feeling too well, but you know, he did say it, brother.
When did you install an intercom?
What do you mean? Well, you know, listen, he's at Studio B right now. He's always been at Studio B. We got to communicate somehow. He sees me. I see him. We're talking.
All right, can we move on? Can we move on, please?
Why do we have to move on? Larry. Now, Larry, I am hoping that we get over 100 listens and downloads or more, which we normally do. But hopefully the more the merrier, and then you can cut a nice big check right off of Daddy's 401k. Larry, come on. Let's not lie to the people.
Pension's going to come in good and handy.
Oh, no, stop. Listen, Larry, your family, you come from money, okay?
From money.
There's a reason why you're wearing a Rolex watch, all right, and you have a world championship belt in the back signed by Hulk Hogan, personally, to you.
I mean, it was a personal meeting with Hulk Hogan. He came over came over to the mansion. We were talking about maybe putting a show on the network.
Wait a minute. What? But why was I invited for that?
For a minute, a few months ago, for a little while, I thought I was going to need a show to fill the Friday time slot. But things fell through,
Excuse me?
It just...
I'm sorry, what was that?
But I got really cool Winged Eagle WWE Championship signed by the Hulkster himself. So...
You see, fans, just when we were about to do some good, it sends us all back.
It's all good. It's all good in the hood.
Now, speaking of WrestleMania, or speaking of wrestling as a whole, I found out through MMAfighting.com that apparently WWE is trying to put together something that is so unique that we spoke about a few episodes back. I couldn't even believe. Do you know what the talks are right now in the back?
What?
Apparently, they want to get Christine Cyborg, Justino.
You know, I kind of heard this.
To wrestle Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania and lose.
Cyborg to lose? To do the job?
Cyborg will do the job because remember a few episodes back she had said that she does not think that that Rousey would ever let her win in obviously not in WWE, but she also feels that Rousey will never beat her in an MMA ring anyway.
You know, did the two of them ever fight in the octagon?
No, it was a dream match. The problem is I think that both of them were in two different weight classes, and no one wanted to do a catch weight to meet each other in the middle. So, what do? So ultimately what happened is that it just fell through, and it's not come to any fruition at all. But, hey, look, I mean, how do you think it would be received if WWE actually... Well, so then that means they have to keep her face, no? Until WrestleMania. Unless she turns heel.
Ronda?
Because obviously Cyborg is going to be looked upon as a bad, girl.
This is true. Yeah. I mean, I was kind of expecting Ronda to stay heel to stay face for a while anyway. So, in my opinion.
Okay. So, I mean, do you think that WWE fans or the WWE universe or pro wrestling in general is going to accept this match and make it go over well? Because, I mean, you're bringing an MMA element into, because of the backgrounds, you're bringing an MMA element to the pro wrestling world. I mean,
I don't think so because to the common person on the street, the common person on the street, whether or not they watch WWE, whether or not they watch UFC, everyone knows who Ronda Rousey is. Not everyone knows who Cyborg is. So
sure,
I don't think
I
don't think that would work.
Okay. But I think that if they now, do you present it though as a legitimate kind of like a shoot, or do you present it as a pure straight pro wrestling match?
It would have to be a wrestling match.
Well, here's the thing. Cyborg is not trained. She would have to stop her fighting career to train because, obviously she would have to know what the hell she's doing in there. My only concern about the two is that there may be some real bad blood that will be shown. I mean, who's to say that Ronda won't kick her or Cyborg won't punch her for real?
I mean, this is true, and I'm a little uncomfortable talking about wrestling. There's another show on the network that does this, but just
stop.
I'm just saying. But to answer your question, I don't think the marquee names or name with Cyborg would make it enough where people would be interested. Dare I say, if it was like Misha Tate, then maybe, because I think people know Misha Tate more than they know Cyborg.
Do you think so?
Yeah. I think so. I think so.
I think that Misha Tate is known, but I think that unless you're like a die-hard MMA fan, you'll know who Cyborg is for sure.
Oh, of course.
And that's another thing, the promotion of this thing. I mean, how in the hell are you going to legitimately...
I don't think you can.
...correctly promote this show?
I don't...
Well, the match, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't think you can. Again, I'd like to move on from it, but I don't think...
I understand. You're treating this like North Korea. I have no freedom of speech
I'm not
when it
saying
comes
that.
to pro wrestling. It's okay. It's all right. Yeah, because I don't know anything about wrestling. Right.
I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I just won the world heavyweight title twice. That's okay. But point being is this. All right, you want to? All right, fine.
Judy.
Fine. You did you have to bring that up? Did you really have to bring that up?
I'm just saying.
Hey, listen, let's stop there because we can get sued for this shit.
This is true. The president of the USW is a madman. So.
Yeah, he's son of a bitch. Anyway, all right, fine. You want to switch the topic? Let's switch the topic, okay? God. Okay. Larry, we're going to go from one topic to a topic that I really don't want to talk about, but did you hear this past week, apparently, they are possibly soon going to make the world's least anticipated rematch in boxing.
Okay.
Floyd Bitchweather versus Manny Pacquiao.
Okay. Now, in the last fight, they went to the judges.
Right.
Which what's his
unanimous decision
Mayweather
for
won.
I think Mayweather. Yeah.
I thought Mayweather retired.
Well, Mayweather retires more times than Terry Funk did, but remember what his nickname is: Money.
This is true.
So basically, about money, right?
Oh, of course.
And so,
but I'm not. I don't give my money away like he does. I heard he gambled away like $22 million last year.
Well, that's a drop in a bucket for a guy who made like $300 million in everything against Conor McGregor.
How old are they?
So, Mayweather is 41 now.
Is he really?
Yeah, he is. And I think that Pacquiao is 39 or 40 years old.
He's younger than Mayweather?
Yeah, he is actually.
Oh, good Lord. It sure doesn't look like it.
So, by the time that he fights, he'll be 42. And then I think Pacquiao would have been like at least 40. I think Pacquiao's 1 or 2 years younger than him.
I wasn't all that. Look, I like a good boxing. Like, I really would like to get, not into boxing, like to follow it, but I wouldn't mind watching every now and then. Once in a blue moon, I'll flip through the television, my 90-inch television, which I have in the kitchen. If I pass by like ESPN or something, I'll stop and I'll watch, or Showtime Boxing. It is what it is if I'm making myself a sandwich. But like Mayweather and Pacquiao the first time around, just it didn't interest me. Honestly, it didn't interest me as much as Mayweather McGregor.
Well, fans, do you want me to save you some money here? Okay, I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen, all right? They're going to promote the living hell of it. Bell rings, ding, ding, all of a sudden. By the way, I heard that
ding.
Thank you, Apollo. Now, the fight apparently cannot happen in the United States because Pacquiao owes, I think, the federal government somewhere around $20 million plus or something like that. Almost as much as probably you do, Larry. But the point is that...
Oh, I pay my taxes, thank you.
Yeah, okay. Did you not pay because it's smart?
No.
Or are you being audited right now?
No, but that does remind me I do have a tea time
I hope
tomorrow.
the FCC actually hears this. Anyway, so Bob Shickadance, you're Bob Shickadance. You're
Mr. Shyster. All right, I gotta remember that. All right.
No, Irwin?
Anyway.
Irwin R. Shyster? Okay. So the thing about it is that they can't have it in the United States because he owes the federal government like $20 million, something like that. About 20 to 28 million or something like that. So the thing is they have to have it internationally. So one of the things that a lot of fans were criticizing was that it happened in the United States. It was very unfair against a foreign fighter, blah, blah, blah. I don't know how true that is, but the point being is we don't know. Now, if this happens, I'm guaranteeing you both of them will probably make anywhere between $300 to $500 million.
Wow, that's insane. I'll make that money to get punched in the face.
Would you actually invite me over to watch the fight?
I have a projection screen outside in the parking lot. I would be more than happy to invite you to check that out.
So I can't even step into Mormon Manor?
I didn't say that. I'm just saying maybe I'll have a party, and a lot of people will be over.
Intern party.
Maybe. A no pants party.
You know the last time I came by your house for the UFC fight, you released the hounds on me, right?
It was late.
And then you told me it was by accident.
It was late.
They're Dobermans, for God's sake. And by the way, you want to know the only reason why I'm not suing you? Because I watched the movie See No Evil, Hear No Evil, and I bought a jar of peanut butter with me.
Oh.
And they're okay.
Fuzzy Wuzzy was a woman?
Hey, listen, your dogs love me now. So, just wanted to let you know.
And for some reason, you love the dogs. But it is what it is.
What are you trying to imply?
What?
Was that racial discrimination?
Whoa!
Do I have a lawsuit on my hands for racial discrimination in the workplace?
I said dogs.
What relation do I have with dogs?
Just saying that it's man's best friend.
Yeah, okay, right.
Anyway. I'm not going there. I'm not going there.
All right, Larry. So now that we're done with your ranting and raving and all this other chanting and stuff. Speaking of chanting, by the way, we've been getting a lot of really good feedback about Reclaiming You. And a lot of the fans have basically written in and they had said to me that they like a lot of the insights and things like that. And fans, I promise you that in the upcoming episodes, we going towards episode 100, we will have guests, we will have interviews that I'm trying to put together. So we're going to bring people of expertise in their fields, in their respective fields, and we're going to really, really talk a lot about health, fitness, motivation, and what drives them and what keeps them going. Kind of like a successful insider type of deal, So anyway, the point being is that what I want to do right now is I want to get into one of my favorite segments of the week. It is known, ladies and gentlemen, simply as Reclaiming You. Alrighty then. Okay, fans, so this week, and I'm really, really glad that you've chosen to come back here to listen to another segment here. I hope that you liked the segment last week about willpower. And fans, what I want to concentrate on this week is that we've had several people also write in. And, I hope everybody is making their goals. I hope everybody is happy with their progress. If you haven't gotten into any of the progress aspects of it yet, I would suggest that you do so, because this is your life. This is your goal. This is your direction. If you're going to start something, always finish it. There's a saying within Chinese martial arts that a person who ties a knot must untie it themselves. It's a very, very important, true statement. My mom would always say that. My mom still says that till this very day. And she says to me that, when you have a scenario, when you have adversity, when you have things that are not going your way, you have challenges, if you put yourself into that predicament, learn from it and, really, really try to unknot that. It's very important, So what I want to concentrate on this week is that a lot of you have been writing that you've had slow progress. Some of you have written to me and said that your progress is not exactly where you want it to be. And I have some people who are saying, I'm making great progress and I'm having really good momentum. How do I keep it going? Well, okay, so first and foremost, let me say that everybody's progress, everybody's gains, everybody's speed, everything like that, it's not the same. Just like how all martial arts is not created equal. Everybody's progress is not created equal. We all have our way of getting from point A to point B, and just because one person does it one way and another person does it another way doesn't mean that they're wrong. It doesn't mean that they're not getting there. There's something I was reading about on DDP Yoga that Arthur Borman, the disabled vet who used DDP Yoga to change his life, he said, just because I'm not there today doesn't mean I'm not going to get there someday. And that's where your belief in yourself, has to come about. It has to, chime in at some point. Because if you don't have faith in yourself, let me ask you this. How are other people going to have faith in you? Okay? Like, I'll give you an example. A lot of people work out for many different reasons. A lot of people take care of themselves for different reasons. It could be for health. It could be for, some people do it for cosmetics, just because it looks good, And they're not wrong, nobody's wrong in that case, because obviously that's one of the benefits of taking care of yourself. Some people want to kick a habit, We had one writer who wrote in to the network and basically said that, he has a very difficult time to stop smoking, and it's not easy. There are a lot of people we know that have smoked before, whether it be a lot, whether it be a little, it's not good for you. And he notices that. He realizes that he has a problem and he's identifying it. And what he's trying to do is he's trying to cut it down. And he's trying to, get himself occupied with other things, give himself something to do. So there's a focus, there's a direction. And that's great. I have some people who are writing in now who are saying, well, listen, my progress, I'm trying to drop some weight and it's not going where I want it to go. Don't get discouraged. It will get there. It will take time, but you will get there. And as long as you do something every day, it doesn't matter what it is, something every day to make yourself better than you were yesterday. It really boggles my mind sometimes. We live in a world where we're very impatient. We're very results driven. We're very goal driven. We want everything fast. We want everything to happen immediately. And if we don't get those results quickly, we get upset. We get frustrated. I mean, everything from, us downloading a song, everything from us using the internet on our phones, going into work and having to deal with bosses, having to deal with people tell you to work faster, work quicker. We want more results. We want more out of you. And then you have to say to yourself, is there a breaking point? Because we all have one, and these demands are not what we want, but it's what we must do. It's what we have to produce. Same thing like your mission, whatever your goal is out there, guys and gals out there. It doesn't matter what it is. This is the one thing you have control over. No boss has control over that. No peers have control over that. Nobody can tell you how to progress. Everything is done on your volition. It's your choice. And that's what I want you to understand. We may not have control over when a bus shows up or when a train shows up. We may not have control over a car accident. We may not have control over a lot of things, how people think, how people feel, how people, look upon you, good or bad. We do have control over what we do in our own lives. And I want you to understand that, because if you're going down a bad path, you have the control to change that. If you're going down a good path, you have control to maintain it or to be better than you were. So that's all dependent upon you. You can't blame other people because nobody is pressing you against your will. Nobody can. So bear in mind the responsibility that you have. And by the way, when you achieve results, whether it be big, whether it be small, worry about what the world thinks. They're not doing this for you. You're doing this for you. And when they see these results, all of a sudden you got people going, wow, I never thought that he or she can do this, whatever it may be. And, and then they'll look at you at a different light. And then they're going to say, wow, this is amazing. They may not say it in front of you. They may talk behind your back. And they say, you'll always have people out there who are going to say, oh, well, I know people who've done better than that. And they say, don't listen to that. If anybody tells you that if they tell you, you can't do it, you can't make it, you can't this, you can't that. I've been told, and I'll give you an example, a good example of this, okay? When I was in elementary school, I remember this clear as day. I remember my fourth grade teacher, Mrs. Goldman, and she was, for lack of a better word, a bad teacher. And this is what she did. There was a classroom of 28 kids. Do you know what she did? She lined us up one day, told us to just stand there, and she would just pick people out of the line, and she would line them up. You know what she said? She goes, this is my opinion on who is the smartest to the dumbest. Can you believe that? I mean, the amount of lawsuits today, if you can imagine that. Because, from the beginning all the way to the end. And she said the people in the front of the line are the ones who are going to make a difference in the world, who are smart, who are intelligent, and they're going to do something good with their lives. And she said the people in the back are the ones who are going to do the opposite. You know where I placed in this entire line? I was third to last. Now, if I was to believe in that, do you think I would be where I am today? If Larry was to think that way, do you think he would be where he is today? Owning a network and doing what he loves and what he does best? If anybody ever thought and sat there and said, oh my God, this is what they think of me, this is what they think of me, this is what they thought of me, or whatever, we might as well just sit down on the couch and just not move. Because what would be the point of life, right? But you have to choose to get back up and say, you know what? I don't believe in what you're saying. What you're saying, I'm going to prove you wrong. And I am going to make sure that I'm not going to stop until I prove you wrong, and I'll go beyond that. So whatever it is, there's a saying that, oh, well, don't listen to what negative people have to say. You're right. Don't listen to them. But in a way, do listen to them, because after you achieve that goal, I promise you, you may not have to openly say, ha, 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 I got you, I proved you wrong. But trust me, sometimes the silence is the loudest of volumes. If you can imagine what I'm trying to say. Silence is the loudest of volumes, because they're going to feel so defeated, and they're going to look very differently at you. Whatever you want to accomplish, it doesn't matter. You go out there, Set it. Believe in it. Take action. React to it. Fight that adversity. Go out there and prove it every day. It's not going to happen overnight, my friends, but it will happen. I took a picture and I put it up on my social media today of a Throwback Thursday of what I looked like. I would say about 2.5 years ago, something like that. And I looked at myself and I just said, I was at the depths of my lowest. I was smiling on the outside, but crying on the inside. And you know something? I don't feel like that anymore. I feel like I have a reason to live. And I thought about it. And I said, you know why I exist? I exist to prove that whatever you want to do, it's possible. If I could do it, and I'm just going to get better every day, you can do it. Think about that. When you get a chance, don't just think it, ink it. Believe in yourself. Have faith in yourself. And go out there and do great things, everybody. So by this point right now, you should be on a pretty good track. And if you stumbled, pick yourself back up. That's the hardest part. And when you do, go straight ahead. Keep your eyes on the prize. Direction straight forward. Look back every now and then just to reflect, but don't live there. Don't dwell there. And just keep going, everybody. Thank you so much. I just wanted to make sure I mentioned that this week to give you a little motivation, a little jump start. And then we'll talk about the next D next week. And other than that, if you have any questions or have any comments, please write to us at yinandyangpodcast at gmail.com. Once again, fans, that is yinandyangpodcast at gmail.com. Thank you so much for taking the time out to listen to me, and we'll see you next episode. Okay, we're back. All right.
Yeah, as usual, always good.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate this. I really, I'm trying my best here.
Yeah.
But yeah. So hey, man, I really appreciate the platform of being able to go out there and, and be able to talk to the fans this way, because there's a lot of people out there who need the help, and. Like when I remember a lot of times in my life, I never got the chance to have anybody help me in a lot of situations and or to motivate, and I'm lucky. I'm surrounded by people who are supportive, who always believe in me. And hey, man, in turn, I just want to return it back, so.
No, of course. No, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, so fans, real quick, okay? If anything else, we got some Q&A, and so let's go on with the Q&A. I think that I'm getting multiple messages, some feedback right now from last week's episode. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, and speaking of last week's episode, we actually have a question from last week.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Give you some time. So just to refresh.
Segue.
Yeah, that's what I'm known for. So to refresh, we have... Monaco Strongbow from...
I'm telling you, man, last week, everybody who wrote in is in the witness protection program. It has to be. This cannot be a real name.
He didn't put where he was from.
She.
Again, I quote, I've heard that in Asia, particularly Hong Kong, there are a lot of secret fights or underground fights called Beimo. Do they still exist, or the stuff of legend, or did this really happen? What is it all about? What is your opinion on it now?
Okay, so here's the deal, right? When it comes to this, and I was actually doing some research about this, and a lot of the different martial arts styles, the clans mean not meaning gangs, but a lot of the different styles and affiliates of styles will basically say to you that, Beimo. So for those of you who don't know what Beimo means or is, it's a testing of skills, right? So Bei means to compete in Chinese and Cantonese, and mo is your arts, your skill. So you're competing with skill, right? So a lot in Hong Kong, there's a saying in the martial arts world, okay? My sifu, meaning teacher, will always say this, teacher or master. My sifu would always say, a scholar will never admit that he's number one, but a martial artist will never admit that he's number two. So basically, the purpose of Beimo is to see who, based upon fighting, has a better style, has better fighting ability, and a lot of it is bragging rights. Of course, I'm sure there was money and betting involved, but a lot of these fights in Beimo were basically done virtually anywhere. It was at any given time.
Like fight clubs.
Right, they were like fight clubs, basically. And some of them were run by triad gangs. Some of them were run by within schools. And it was business. If you look at like Bloodsport, the movie Bloodsport, that is a version of Beimo, except that it's done with different styles within different arts around the world. This is more Beimo within Chinese martial arts. Now, do they have it in Japan? Do they have it in Korea? Do they have it in other, like the Philippines? I'm sure they do. But Strongbow was asking about Hong Kong in particular. Yes, this is not a stuff of legend. This is real. Beimo does exist. And if you want to test your skills, you bear in mind that the only way to win is there's no submissions, there's no referee. Well, there is a referee, but the only way you win is you knock the guy out. By the way, women were not allowed to compete. Rules, there were no rules as long as you knock the guy out or they give up. There's no rules. And you don't fight to the death, but you fight to the point where you're bloodied up and you can't continue. This is real contact. There's no padding. There's no protection. There's no clock. Nothing.
That's wild. It's a modern day fight club. So it's weird. Even like with the bare knuckle fighting that there is now, like there's still some regulation with it. This Beimo,
right?
No regulation. What's going to stop people?
Well, in Thailand, Muay Thai, before King Rama the second or something like that, before he added Queensberry rules, meaning boxing gloves and wraps and padding and things like that, it was done bare knuckle.
Yeah.
So you can literally elbow somebody right in the mouth and knock them out, or you can actually, even in Muay Thai, you can actually kick to the groin. You can actually do whatever you want. You could literally,
The original UFC was like that. Basically.
Exactly.
I remember I saw a fight. A guy just knocked the guy down and repeatedly punched him in the groin.
Right. Yeah, and and in Beimo you could do whatever you want to.
Yep.
There's no rules.
Okay.
And that's what makes it very scary. I did have one question.
Okay.
A guy named Stanley asked me, and I'm reading this right off the email right here, off yinandyangpodcast @gmail.com. He says here, Stanley, he's actually from Ohio, and he writes, "Hey guys, love the show. I wanted to ask a question here, and what do you think about participation trophies? As far as sports are concerned, they're given in football, baseball, virtually any popular sport in America. However, are there participation trophies in martial arts? And if there are, do you believe in them or do you not believe in them? What's your opinion?" So, Larry, you want to go ahead?
I'm straightforward. I do not believe in participation trophies. Life, not everyone gets a trophy in life. You got to learn to win. You got to learn to lose. You got to learn to win gracefully. You got to learn to lose gracefully.
I remember in my first martial arts school, it was a community center. It was a Chinese community center, and I was teaching Wing Chun, and I remember there was belt testing. We did belt testing every 6 months at the end of the semester. And so you had 2 tests a year, and basically, the kids signed up for an entire year. And I remember there was this one student. He was okay. He didn't have natural ability. He didn't really practice too much at all, but he wanted to take the belt test. Now, I don't charge for belt tests because, quite frankly, this is not Microsoft and I'm not Bill Gates. This is not a business for me. I teach it out of passion. And I do my absolute best to help them out, set them up. And I set up a system where all you have to do is perform what's required of you. You know what it is ahead of time. All you got to do is go home and practice diligently. This one kid didn't take it seriously, and he failed the test. And, and I even said, listen, if you want to go out and take 5 minutes and go talk to your Kung Fu brothers and sisters to go help you out, be my guest and come back in 5 minutes. He couldn't do it.
Really?
So he still failed because he couldn't get the majority of the moves within the form down. And I said, look, and I looked at him. Ironically, his name was of all things, Winston. And I said to him, I said, except Winston is not a 14-year-old kid. And I said, Winston, I really commend your diligence. I commend, your trying, and, you're a good student, and I have nothing but good things to say about you, but I'm sorry. I'll have to test you again in 6 months because you need some practice, and you just need to really, really, take it seriously, practice. And I said, did you? And I said in front of everybody, did you practice? And he goes, yeah. I said, well, go back, practice. I said, in fact, if you want, we'll test you a month from now. He starts crying. The mother gets pissed.
Oh,
she's like, what the hell? And she's cursing me out in Chinese. What the fuck? You're shaming my kid in front of his peers. You're shaming my kid in front of others' parents. And then what happened was we were giving out the belts. We were giving out the certificates. And the mother screamed at me because I didn't give the kid a participation trophy. She goes, well, he should get something. Every kid got something that you didn't give him anything. And I said, well, look, I understand how you feel. I failed test myself, but I don't believe in giving somebody something that they didn't earn. He tried. Everybody gave him a round of applause. His Kung Fu brothers and sisters tried to console him. He was crying, and the mother was angry at me, and she went to make a complaint. And the principal wanted me to give a participation trophy. I said, absolutely not. I said, it's a matter of ethics. I said, it's done this way now. It's done this way in Hong Kong. It's done this way in China. It was done this way 200 years ago or 300 years ago when the art was created. I'm not changing that. This is not
for you.
This is not a pay you play. It's not a pay and you pass school. It's not what it is. This is not McDojo.
That's what people look for nowadays.
No, fuck that. I don't believe in that at all.
Well, good for you. Good for you for standing up for you.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Larry, I was thinking about this. Man, I am truly blessed to be able to, to be able to sit here after a year, wind down episode 49.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it, bro. I really do. And, I hope I continue to strive to do the best that I can, for the network and to bring in the magic. And, we seem like we have really, really good feedback from the fans. Speaking of family of podcasts, what's going on in the 60,000 shows that you do in your network?
Oh, boy. Well, with the Retro Gamers podcast, we just dropped, actually Retro Gamers and the Better Half podcast. We had our hybrid, so both episodes were the exact same. A very interesting episode, though. Anthony Rippo of the Retro Gamers podcast actually quite opened up about a funny situation that he had one time with a girl that he was dating, and it was quite an interesting story.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you got to listen to the podcast. Either listen to the Retro Gamers or listen to the Better Half podcast. It was a hybrid episode, so we kind of just merged the two shows.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
Mostly because I still wasn't feeling good and I was too lazy to edit two different shows, so I just merged the two of them and we just did an episode. But it's you got to listen to it. It's quite an eye opener and it's actually quite funny in my opinion. And with that, Talking More Wrestling drops every Saturday, 6:05 p.m. Eastern. Last week, what did I talk about? I talked about the Mae Young Classic. Talked about Hell in a Cell. So it was good stuff. I'm having a fun time with it. Unfortunately, I already had to skip a week because of my pneumonia, but I'm back on track. And this week I'll be talking a little bit more about the Mae Young Classic. Probably talk about Super Showdown and whatever else may pop up in the world of professional wrestling between now and Saturday, 6:05 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, all right. So, Larry, we're going to get to we'll get to that in a second. So, speaking of. So, what is your next stop on the just when we thought we were out, they pulled me back in tour, or they pull us back in tour?
Oh, man, I'm starting to lose track of everything that I am doing. Let's see. Well, it looks like my next stop is going to be October 6th for New York Comic-Con at the Javits Center in New York City. So come find me there. Check that out. Then on October 14th, again, I'll be in the city for 2 back-to-back live shows. Mystery Science Theater 3000, 30th anniversary shows. That's going to be good. The Brain and Deathstalkers 2, they're going to be riffing. And then a couple weeks thereafter that, we have Chiller Theater. Can't wait to meet Carmen Electra. And Evolution pay-per-view.
That's right. It's going to be huge. And now, speaking of ladies... I think that we've depleted the resources, but before we go, Larry, I got to get something off my chest here, okay?
Okay.
So I was watching Hell in a Cell, and I was like, I was watching this whole thing. And look, I got to be honest, Larry. I know you're a big fan of hers, and I don't want to hop on this. Whoo!
Who? I know. I'm trying to be. I mentioned it earlier. I'm trying to. We got Talking More Wrestling, which is a great wrestling show here.
Larry, come on, Larry. We've been since episode 1 all the way to now. How many references of professional wrestling have we made? How many times have we talked about WWE? Well, look, we may not look eye to eye. Well, we'll never look eye to eye. But the point is that it's something that you and I can relate to.
No, true. And one day I'll have you on the show.
We're both students of the game.
True. I get it. It's just I'm trying to, too many topics on the same network. I mean, the mixed martial arts, MMA, martial arts, the health, the wellness. This is what makes this show. I just we talked about this off air. Just trying to back off the wrestling talk on any of the other podcasts.
Okay, but Larry, there's something I got to get off my chest here. Okay, this whole Alexa Bliss thing. Okay, I know you're a fan, but come on, it's just overexposure now. They're putting her in everything.
What are you talking about?
They're putting her in everything. She is the most overexposed superstar on the female roster that they have in the WWE.
She's one of the best heels they have.
Yeah, best heels doesn't mean that you overexpose and overkill and overhype.
You're not overhyping it. What are you talking about?
I do not like. Listen, yeah, she's pretty. Yes, she comes out in black leather. Yes, she has this beautiful evil streak. Yes, I understand she's the goddess. But listen, let's be honest, okay? They're making it. The WWE is basically making it like she's the only talent out there. She got her ass kicked by fucking Ronda Rousey, for God's sake, who she calls an overhyped rookie, and then didn't even mount one level of offense during SummerSlam.
Well, that was I don't want to go into this.
Hell in a Cell.
I don't want to go. Look, I don't want to go into this. I have another wrestling show, which is I'm keeping it kayfabe on that one. Well, I'm not on keeping it kayfabe, but I'm keeping the kayfabe alive. Can we let's end the show. Let's have a good time.
No, well, okay. Allow me to do this. Let me take the kayfabe out of it.
What are you doing? Don't push the subject. Okay.
I'm not pushing the subject. I'm just trying to tell you something that I feel is real and genuine. And I've listened to Talking More Wrestling, and everybody should listen to Talking More Wrestling, and I suggest everybody to. But the thing about it is, I feel that you're hiding a lot from the fans. You're not telling them the reality of it because you're keeping this kayfabe. Kayfabe is dead.
Okay, look. All right,
I understand.
Look. Can someone patch me into Jeremiah to try and maybe?
Well, Jeremiah's out. He took NyQuil. He's gone right now.
Look.
So here's the thing. While we have this
let's end the show. Let's end it for the
week.
What
are you afraid to form an opinion so to talk about it?
No, I'm not. You're just not listening to me. I'm building this empire for a reason, and there's a specific reason why I have this show. There's a reason why we're soon going to have a hockey podcast on the network.
I'm sorry, a hockey podcast?
Yes. It's in the works.
Oh yeah, well that demotes my podcast even less.
No, not at all.
So listen, I know you've used the Yin and the Yang as a vehicle to basically boost talking more wrestling. All right, so now all of a sudden, allow me to make the exchange and give you the receipt for once.
Buttons.
I'm not pushing your buttons.
Pushing my buttons.
I am not pushing your buttons. I am being very honest, being very genuine with the fans. We have martial art fans. We have pro wrestling fans who listen to this, I'm sure. All right, because Lord knows you don't promote this show on talking more wrestling. You know what? I'm going to even push it even further. You know what? I hope you enjoy this overexposure bliss thing. Because you know what? When my wife, my future wife, the pirate princess herself, Kairi Sane, moves up to the main roster.
Oh, okay.
She's going to beat
I've had
the
enough
shit
of this.
Out of Alexa
All
Bliss.
I hear
you
you
think
talk
Ronda
about
Rousey was bad? She'll beat her ass.
Listen. No, you know what? No, we're done. We're done. There's no more talk about wrestling on this show.
What do you mean we're done? No, come on.
That's it. I'm tired of hearing about Kairi Sane. I'm tired of hearing about you.
I love Kairi Sane.
That's it. I'm and unfortunately making me do this on the air. No more talk about wrestling on the show.
Wait a minute. Why? How could you do that to me? You can't listen. This is not North Korea.
Don't push it.
I'm not pushing it.
You're pushing
I'm just telling you the truth. That when Kairi Sane comes up to the main roster, she's going to beat
listen.
ass.
Listen. That's your second warning. I'm telling you right now. Can just end the show? Can someone run the closing music, please? Somebody.
What do you mean somebody run the closing music? I'm not done yet.
What do you mean you're not? No, you're going to be done.
No, hey, listen. I am the. Do you know who I am? Okay, I am the guy that you. Do you know who I am?
Excuse me?
I am the guy that you brought in a year ago. All right, and said to me that you wanted something different, something out of the ordinary, and in a different element. Okay, to boost the network. And now that you have the network all blown up, now you're making me feel like you don't need me anymore. Is that what it's about?
All right.
Larry, look, why am I got you on edge? Aren't you supposed to be all zen and everything like that? Don't you listen to Reclaiming You? You should be all zen and everything. You should be able to understand where I'm coming from. No, you're my best friend. We've known each other for 25 plus years. How could you be that like that?
All right, I'm tired. You know what,
that, man?
I'm tired of this. Tired of
what?
I'm tired of it. You left me no choice.
What do you mean?
That's it. You're suspended, and the show's suspended for 14 days, 2 weeks.
You've got to be kidding me. That's bullshit. How can I be suspended? Don't mute my mic, like.
Yeah, your mic's muted. Do you know who I am? Do you know who the fuck I am? I'm Larry Mormon. I'm the one who, from the ground, built this empire. You think this house came for free? No. There was some renovation, but the house didn't come for free. Who the fuck do you think you are to say that you run this empire? No, you're muted and you're gone for 14 days, no pay. And I'm not really worried about the fans right now. I'm done. You know what? I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm out. No, cut the feed. Cut it. I don't care about the music. Cut it.